Speaking of, I still want to get like a nice camera, but they're expensive.
They're so expensive. They just not that long ago announced the Canon 90D, and I use the 70D, so that's like a pretty big upgrade for mine. And it's got like it'll do like I think it was like 4K at 60 FPS, things like that. And I was
Ooh.
like, oh man, gotta upgrade to that bad boy. It's for work. Write it off on my taxes. And then I was
There you
like,
go.
it's still $1,200. And I was like, I don't know, this one seems
Mm.
fine.
Yeah. The part that gets me too is like it's just because you have to get a bunch of lenses too, and everything, and then
Yeah,
between
thankfully
lenses
it would
and
use the same lenses at least. That's why like I've stuck with Canon my entire life because it's like I have a DSLR camera that doesn't do video or anything from when I was in high school, and like I wanted to learn about photography because my dad did photography when he was younger, but I didn't want to just use film because it was expensive and hard to get. So he's like, "Well, let's get you like a nice digital camera, and you can learn on that." So I got that, and it like had the kit lens, and it came with like a big zoom lens. And then when I bought my 70D for vlogging, I was like, well, what'll use the same lenses as what I have? And did some research. I was like, oh, that uses the lenses I have. So I only need one other lens that I want instead of buying three new lenses. So I've just kind of like stuck with Canon because of that stuff.
there you go. Now, what
Just
is
to
something people?
carry as much forward as I can. And you can get like adapters and stuff, but this is easier.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about adapters. Like, are they difficult to adjust? Do you feel like they're not the same as having a lens made for the camera, or is it just pretty much interchangeable?
It really depends from what I've learned. I haven't really used any adapters, but I've been kind of researching it a little bit. My dad gave me all of his old photography equipment. It was just like, I don't know what works, what doesn't. Just have at it. And like has a bunch of old cameras that he collected. Like I have stuff like back to like the 1930s and 40s that were old
Wow.
cameras. And it's interesting just to look at them. But I got some lenses from his film photography cameras, and I've been looking into the adapters for it. And most of them, basically, it's like two threads on each side. One thread goes into your camera body, just like your lens would, and the other side is the other lenses adapter that you need. So it kind of just like takes place of what you already have in your camera. Um, from what I understand, they should function the exact same way. Uh, every lens is going to be different, and it depends on if you get a cheap adapter that works well or not. Because sometimes they don't lock in right and can let light behind the lens, which is never going to work well.
Yeah.
And it can be too like if the lens you have is beat to hell and like doesn't zoom in or out anymore, well, it's not going to work no matter what you do.
Mm. And so, speaking of older lenses, my brain just came across this thought. What do you think the world's gonna be like in 20 years? I know it's a very out there question, kind of like might need a little bit of time to think about it, but 20
It,
years from now, when it comes to, we'll say, camera gear and then just technology in general.
so camera gear, I think you're just going to have a phone. Like I think
Mm.
it's just going to be because that's pretty much what we've gotten to at this point is, like the newest iPhone and the newest Samsung phone, they have three lenses. They have an ultra wide, a regular, and a telephoto. And then you can buy lenses. I don't have one on me right now. I might have my case around me though if I can find it while I'm talking at the same time, which should be interesting. That go on your phone and you can lock a lens in place and have different lenses on your phone. So there's a couple companies that make them. One of them is Moment. The other one, the lens that I have is from a company called Suray. I don't
Mm-hmm.
see my casing. Looking for it already. But it goes on, and you can have a wider angled lens, or you can have a macro lens, or an anamorphic lens. And I think that's what we're going to see more of. Is you're going to have something like this that's small and does a lot of work in software, and then you just clip on whatever lenses you need versus, this giant thing that I have to carry around. I still think, movies are probably going to be shot on those big
Oh yeah,
cameras.
yeah.
Like $90 million budget films are still going to use those. But I think you'll see more and more like freelance photographers and things that just have something simple like this that can clip on whatever lenses you need. Hell, for all I know, this is the size of what a DSLR camera is going to be in 20 years. Cameras are getting smaller and better all the time.
Now, are you
And even
saying the
like
camera itself will be that size, or is it going to be using our phones?
I think it'd be a camera that size
Okay.
that focuses only on camera, and that's it.
So kind of
I
like
mean,
how the old point and shoots from like 10 years ago kind of were,
right,
but like thinner. Okay, I can see that.
but just more powerful. And I know like the newest GoPro that just got announced, it's got expansion slots, so you can put a light on it. You can put a screen that flips up on the new ones. You can plug a microphone into them. Like
Ooh.
GoPro is becoming like a small DSLR vlogging camera and action camera at the same time. And it does so much stabilization, I don't have to edit the stabilization later or buy a
That's
gimbal and all that extra stuff. I just buy the GoPro, put it on a stick, and that's it.
yeah. I totally underestimated how strong my GoPro is. Like I have a GoPro Hero 4, which isn't the newest model by far. Came out
Mm-hmm.
like 2014, but like it's
Yeah.
so good. Like it does. I mean, like I said, it does everything I need to do when I'm recording like basic stuff. Like it's not going to shoot a like you can shoot a movie on it. You legit shoot a legit full length like film on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I've learned this now recently that how much you can make any camera, any modern day camera look really good. It is 100% lighting and settings.
Yeah, exactly. And I know a lot of people talk about that. Like Casey Neistat talks about it. He's like, people have no excuse to not start your YouTube channel anymore. Like, why aren't you vlogging? Oh, well, I don't have, a big vlogging setup. Great. Do you have a cell phone? Does it turn on? Cool. You have a vlogging setup. My,
Yeah.
I mean, my phone, the back camera shoots in 4K. It shoots, I think, 60 to 120 FPS at 1080p. Like, I will get my phone out to do a slow motion shot before I'll get my big DSLR out because it just works better to do those things. Now, if I'm, gonna set up a static shot and shoot, an interview or something, I'm probably gonna get the DSLR out. But if it's just like a quick, panning like this B-roll shot or something that I need, your phone is plenty. It has a front-facing camera. You turn it around, you can see yourself talking to it. As long as you hold it like this and not like this, you're fine. As long as you hold it the right way, you can just vlog and shoot everything on your phone. There's a guy that does that on YouTube, and he's got millions of subscribers, and all of his
Yep.
vlogs are like an hour long. And I'm like, how did you do that on your phone? But
Exactly. Yeah.
every one of them, that's all he does. He just holds his phone out and vlogs all day, and just like goes and hangs out with his buddies, and millions of subscribers.